welcome to Real Talk with Felice. I'm your host, Felice Hightower. And once again, my topic is what is love? And this is part two with my two panel guests, which is Troy Spry, who is the author of Teach Me How to Love. And then he's an author, group facilitator, motivational speaker, and a reality expert and a relationship expert. Also, my guest, Shavar, who is also an author and actor and has his own radio show here in local Charlotte. I'm talking and choosing to talk about what is love because I think people are really searching for love. And February is the month that we celebrate Valentine's Day. So I thought, what better month to do and talk about what is love? And on my first, or what part one of my show, me and my guests talked about what is love, what it isn't, how can one recognize the real thing, and what are some of the qualities that we look for. And we also ventured out on a tangent about why is it so hard for people in this day and age to connect and find and create love. And one of the things that they came up with is the noise from all of, not just social media, but the noise from all of the media. And also, I know that my guest, Shavar, wanted to elaborate on that last piece. So I'm going to allow you to do that, Shavar. And what was that you wanted to share?
Well, on the last segment, we were talking a little bit about, the social media, the media piece of it all. And one of the things that I did learn, when I first started doing radio and I started doing a little acting and stuff like that, and went out to Hollywood and all that other stuff, is, none of it's real, right? Like we see the stuff on TV and we think that, like these characters we see on TV, it becomes that person. We may watch a TV show where you got these kids and they, when they come on, they're 6 years old, and then we watch this TV show all the way through the time they become teenagers, and we feel like we grew up with them. But the character, you don't know that person, right? And the thing about that is, it's not really them. And it used to be that you had to be an actor, or you had to be in TV, or you had to be in, entertainment business in order to have that. Like, I'm this person on TV. I'm not, I just play a doctor on TV, right? You hear people say that back in the day. The thing about nowadays is because of you can be this person.
The real you, or does that person want the representative?
Well, see, I think that's what happens because you talked about, falling in love with the representative. Mm-hmm. But what happens with us too is we fall in love with our representative. Like we fall in love with the person who we think, but that may not necessarily be who you are. So then you end up with this person, right? And they're saying, well, even in my own personal life, I had somebody tell me one time, you're not delivering what you're selling, right? So what does that mean? That means you're selling this over here, but when I got over here, this ain't what it was. So I think that happens with a lot of us is we sell this good, we sell this product ourselves. We're selling ourselves to these people, and they buy this product, and then it's not what they thought it was going to be. They've sold you a product, and it's not what you thought it was going to be. And now both of you are sitting there looking at each other like, well, this ain't what I got this is not what I bought. I didn't sign up for this.
And but do you really think that they come to that realization? Because then why would there be heartbreak? If I buy a bad product, right? Look at here. This is a bad product. I'm not going to use it again. Mm-hmm. We tell 10 people, don't use the product. But no heartbreak. Why? Where's the heartbreak coming at? Is it because we don't realize that we bought into the representative?
It's not that. It's because you wanted that product to be what it was so badly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You went out and you bought that car, mm-hmm. right? You want to go out and buy that luxury car. Mm-hmm. And you wanted to be that luxury car so mm-hmm. badly, but when you got it, you realized, wow, this luxury car isn't what I thought it was going to be, but I really, really wanted it to be that car. So now you feel disappointed because, well, dang, what am I supposed to do now? I already got the car now. How am I supposed to get rid of it?
I'm glad you brought us back. Did you want to say something?
No, I was going to say, and then what we do after that, after we find out it's not the luxury car, is we try to convince ourselves that it is the luxury car.
And we exactly.
Right? And so now all of a sudden we sit here trying to love someone not for who they are, but for who we hope they would be. Mm-hmm. And now we waste 5-10 years of our life still trying to squeeze, blood out of a turnip, right? Trying to squeeze that person out of the person that they never were meant to be. I always tell people, a lot of times we give people roles in our lives that they were never meant to play. Mm.
And I think that's a good point. And one of the things that I also share with people is that sometimes it's good just to get away, because I've seen and I've had friends who literally go from relationship to relationship to relationship, mm-hmm. and they never take time out to figure out who was I in that relationship? What role did I play in that relationship? What did I accept? Shouldn't have. They don't process any of that, and they never grow. And so they're always in relationships that are disappointing or heartbreaking, unnecessary, because it's better to have some kind of representative than nothing. And I'm just like, just take some time out to figure out what all this means, because you really can get the love you deserve, but you'll never get it if you're popping in and out, you know, and they think that's the way I get over one love is to jump into another. And it's horrible. It's this horrible trend, but I don't want to, because that's one of my questions, I think. Okay. So I want to get ahead. So what are some deal breakers for people? You know, because let me just tell you this, and I tell this to a lot of my girls or women that I talk to. Whenever I see a guy that rolls up on another woman and they say, first of all, I just want to let you know that I don't want anybody with drama. I'm like, red flag, red.
They're used to dealing with people with drama.
Exactly.
They're used to dealing with people, or I don't want anybody with baggage. Everybody's got some kind of baggage. Now, some people have trailers, right? Right, and then some people just have a little carry-on pocketbook. But we all have something. So when they say and come to you and approach you right off the bat, they're getting ready to project their baggage onto you because they haven't dealt with it. So what are some things? What are some deal breakers? Everybody wants to know what am I doing wrong? What's the deal breaker for a relationship?
Let me take this first. First of all, I think we got to define what a deal breaker is.
Okay,
right?
So define it.
So a deal breaker is simply a non-negotiable.
Okay.
Non-negotiable. So hear me on that though, because that doesn't mean it's negotiable if they're cute, right? It doesn't mean that it's negotiable if they have good sex, right? It doesn't mean it's negotiable if my friends like them. You see what I mean? Because I think that's where we mess up. The reason why we can't define deal breakers is because we haven't defined our values, right? If you have values that drive your decision making in your dating life, then when someone doesn't exhibit behavior that's representative of those values, then you can't break the deal. You see what I mean? That's why we got to start from the foundation. We got to strip ourselves down and say, okay, what are my non-negotiables based off my value system? You see what I mean? And I think that's where we mess up. Everybody talks about these deal breakers they have. I'm like, whatever. It's a lie. You're lying to you. It sounds good.
Right.
But if he's cute enough, it's not a deal breaker. You see what I mean? And so I think that's where we got to really be honest with ourselves and say, is it really a deal breaker, or does it sound good when I tell it to my friends?
Exactly.
You know?
And that's really what it is. It's you know, perception is the reality, right? And I'll probably say that because I'm in the entertainment business, and you know, you hear that so much in the business. People say perception is reality. There's no such thing as bad press. That's why you see all these stars do all this crazy stuff, and it's like, why would they do that? But you know, the thing is, it goes back to what you said, your value system, right? And if you don't have a value system, you can't know what your deal breakers are because you don't even have any rules for your own life. You know, and it becomes that, well, if she's fine enough, I'm gonna go ahead and roll with it. You know, oh well, you know, this person over here gets away with this, but this person over here would never have gotten away with that because you don't have any values. Like, you have to know what your worth is. Like, what are you worth, right? Because we live in America. Because a capitalist society, everything is for sale, including you, right? And people might feel like you're not in sales. You may feel like I'm not for sale, but you sell yourself every single day. When you walk into a job interview, you're selling yourself. When, you know, you want to be friends with a group of people, you're selling yourself. When you want to be friends within your religious organization or you know, move up in that, you're selling yourself. So people have to be willing to buy you. And the thing is, you have to stop selling yourself so cheaply. You have to really place a value on your love. That's worth something. My time, that's definitely worth something. That's the one thing that you can't get back. You know, everything about me is worth something to somebody, right? And I can only accept the things that are worth what my things are worth. Just like if I had a brand new gold watch and somebody offered me $50 for it and I knew it was worth $2,000, I'm not going to sell it to them for $50. But we do that with ourselves because we're taught not to love yourself. You're taught to always put everybody before you. When in all actuality, it all starts with you. And we don't even know who we are. So, you know, we're out here just selling ourselves for whatever.
So I'm going to stop you there because I really want my viewing audience to understand what you were saying to them. And what they are saying is, and what I said previously, if you are really, really searching for that love that you want, you are going to have to, like they said, strip yourself down, take some time out, just really get to know who you are, what your value system is, what's your foundation, what your worth is, so that you can invite that. And this is what I said, you attract where you at. So whatever you're attracting, right? Look at you. Because you are definitely attracting exactly where you are. And so if you want something, if you want a flight attendant, right, then you might want to go to pilot school, right? I'm just saying. If you want to attract where you at and have some kind of information or have some kind of expertise in that area, because that's where they hang out. They hang out at the airport, at the pilot lounge, right? And so you have to be there in order to attract that or to be exposed to that. And so I just wanted to stop right there because I thought that was really good. And the fact that you said, you defined what that meant, that it's a non-negotiable. And part of the thing is that I think people are experiencing is that they don't have non-negotiables. They really don't have one. You claim you have one, like you said, it's a farce. But you're willing to compromise on it all the time. So how do you get to the next place if you're willing to compromise on your non-negotiable? And so thank you for that. I really like that. So the one true question, how does somebody find true love?
Well,
or is it something to be found, or does it find you?
That's the thing about it. We talk about finding love, right? And then, both of you use a term, because I'm really big on words. There's a certain passage, we'll say that talks about how in the beginning was the word, right? So I'm really big on words. And we use words like, I got to strip myself down, right? But really, you don't need to strip yourself down. Really, you have to build yourself up. Because you hear that old thing, people always say it's a cliche, how can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself? But it's absolutely true. Like, you really have to have a value on who you are and what you will and what you will not accept as who you are as a person. So, we try to look at ourselves and, try to separate ourselves from everything and everybody else. When in all actuality, it's all really just one energy. There's really only one true energy. Now, we're created of the same materials as the stars, the quasars, the sun, the earth, the moon. Everything is really just one energy. Like, we may look separate. Like, we might look at this table right here and say that's a solid table. When you get down to the molecular level, none of the molecules ever actually touch. So it's only solid because that's our perception for it to be solid. When you reach out for it, you expect it to be solid because that's what you've been taught. When in actuality, it's all one big energy. If we had an infrared camera in here right now and you looked at it, you couldn't distinguish her from me because it just looks like one big blur.
Right, and your point?
So the point is, if you're created from all these things, right, and, all of this stuff is really just the same energy anyway, you're looking for something that you already are. So in order for you to get love, you have to already be love, and you have to conduct yourself as a loving person. And if you do that and you put that energy off, that's the things that will come off to you. The problem is, most of us really don't conduct ourselves in a loving manner, right, because we don't love ourselves. So we're putting this energy out there in the universe of hate and fear and greed and selfishness, right? But we're saying, I want love, I want love, I want love, but you're not putting love out.
There you go.
And you're getting all that that hatred and greed and all that stuff is coming back to you that you're putting out in the universe, because it's not what you're speaking, it's really the energy that you're giving off. And that's why you're getting all this stuff, because you don't really want what you say you want. Because your concept of what you want is not really truly the concept of what it is.
Okay, so I'm just gonna paraphrase. Basically,
you have to do that with me sometime. I get long-winded.
No, I don't mind helping you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I'm gonna paraphrase what you said. That basically, if you want love, you gotta be it, and you gotta be demonstrating and giving it out, so that it can come back to you. And so, what I like what you said is that people are saying they want love, but maybe you need to check that, because you may say you want love because that's, everybody should want love, or you're just not ready for it. It's just not your time to have that kind of, and we can love friends, we can love pets, we can love co-workers, we can love children. You can give and show and demonstrate love in so many ways that will help you to eventually bring that love that you're so desiring, but maybe we're not. Are we ready for it? Because maybe we're not. Because if he's saying that you have to give that out, and if you're not giving it out, if you're caught up in the greed, if you're caught up in the representative, if you're caught up in the money and the selfishness and the me, really, do we have to sit here and tell you, really, that you're not ready for this and you're really not looking for it? But what is that? Why do we bamboozle ourselves? Tell me, Troy.
So this is what I would think is, a lot of people want a person, but they don't want love, right? See, I think that's the difference. Some of us want a man crush Monday and a woman crush Wednesday and somebody to show off on social media and somebody to say I'm with, but we don't want love, right? Because see, with love comes responsibility, right? And so I think we lie to ourselves a lot. We want somebody as an accessory,
Oh,
right?
nice
Exactly.
word.
And
Nice
that's
word.
that's not love, right? You know, that's a facade. You know what I mean? So I think that's what happens to a lot of us is we don't want a person, or we don't want love, we want a person, right? But I want to go back to your original question about how do we find it,
Right.
right? How do we find it?
Or how does it find us? Or
Well,
let me
how's it?
ask-
Good.
and help me with that. Does it find us or do we find it?
So I believe in the energy, right? I believe if you're putting off that right energy and you're in the right space with the right people and you have purpose and you have passion, you'll attract people to you. But I want to talk about some practical things,
Thank
right?
you.
Because this is where I think the rubber meets the road a lot of times is you can have all the positive energy in the world, but if you sit in your house every day and you never go anywhere, then who's going to find you? You see what I mean? So the practical part of this is so amazing to me. We live in a world where we're so connected, right? We're exposed to way more people than we've ever been exposed to, but now less people say they can find love. It makes no sense to me, right? Because the thing is, we find people the same way we used to find people before all the internet and all the other kind of stuff. It's about being in a space with people, right? And actually connecting. But see, what's happening is we can't really connect, right? We can't really communicate anymore. So I have people all the time that's like, I can't find a good person. Well, tell me what you do every day. I go to work and I go to the store and I come home and they do it the same way every single day. And I'm like, well, first of all, there are people where you are, but if you do the same thing every single day the same way,
It's going to be the same people.
it's going to be the same people over and over and over again.
Not only that, is that it's hard to tell people that, and don't get me wrong, I mean, and I'm going to talk about my church girls, my church ladies. I can't find one in church, or, I go to church, I go to work, I go to church, or back and forth, and I'm not finding anybody at church. I'm not finding anybody at work. But I don't really want to talk to anybody at work because that's my workplace. And then I don't necessarily want to talk to anybody in church because if we break up, that's the church. I don't want anybody to know. And if we break up, I don't think I can go back to that church again. And I'm like, really, dudes? Like, forgive me. That's my thing. I like to say it. Get out of that. And if you want to get spiritual, right? Ruth and Boaz. What did her mother-in-law do?
She left.
She told Ruth, you go and position yourself in front of Boaz. She went back home with mother-in-law peeling potatoes or whatever they were doing back then. She told her, you get dressed, you put your lipstick on, and girl, you go and position yourself so that she could be at the right place at the right time to create that space and find that love.
With the right energy.
With the right energy. Because people talk about Ruth and Boaz all the time. I'm like, stop, because you're missing the point. She positioned herself. She got out of bed.
And not only that, what people miss about that story is the whole story of Ruth and Boaz is loyalty. So prior to her even going and finding Boaz, she was already a loyal person. Because she already knew who she was before she even found him. So when he found her, she was already ready to be in a position. See, the issue that we run into a lot of times is, we don't really want love, right? It's the same thing like this. You don't really want to buy a luxury car. You want to rent a luxury car. Like you want the ability to ride down the street in this car, right? And people look at you and they say, "Oh, what a nice car you have." And then you want to take it home and park it. You don't never really want to have to put gas in it, but you know you're going to have to. That comes along with renting a car. You know what doesn't come along with renting a car? Oil changes. Having to get the brake pads fixed. Having to get the windshield wipers fixed. The leather kind of tore, and now I've sat in this car a few times. Now the leather don't fit the same way. Oh, one of my speakers blew in the car. See, that's what love is about. See, love is like that. Love is buying the car. So you get with this person, and now not only do they look good, not only do they make you feel good, But you know those little issues that they have. You know how she wake up and you know her breath ain't always right in the morning, or she don't look the same with her makeup on, or
No brows, she ain't got no eyebrows.
she a little crazy. You know, she got no eyebrows, and she a little throwed off. You know what I'm saying? She do little stuff, you know, that you don't like, or that little character flaws, right? When you buy love, or when you buy into it, or you really bought into it, you love those things. You accept those things about the person too. It's not like, well, I don't know if I can be with her, man, because she don't wear heels all the time. Or I don't know if I can be with her, man, because she wear a weave in her head. Or I don't know if I can be with her because she don't wear makeup, or she do wear makeup, or, all these ideas that we say, well, I don't know if I can be with this person. Or for ladies, well, I don't know if I can be with him because he don't really make $1 million a year. Or I don't know if I can be with him because he ain't got a six-pack no more. He had a six-pack when I met him. You know what I'm saying? Or, all these ideas that we have, we just want to rent the car. And when the car get old, we're going to rent another car. Because that's the generation that we live in. It's the microwave generation. We want what we want when we want it. And nobody's willing to take the time out and say, I'm going to take this car, and when something go wrong with it, I'm going to fix the car, and I'm going to keep on driving it.
Nice. I love that. So let me see if I can get this in real quick. Kind of getting off to another subject, and we're going to have to be concise about it. Are men really attracted to powerful women?
Ooh, I love this question. So here's the deal. Absolutely, men are attracted. Now, confident men of substance are attracted to those kind of women.
Say that again.
Confident men of substance are attracted to powerful women.
One more time.
Confident and men of substance are attracted to powerful women.
Thank you.
Now, what you got to understand too here, though, is we're not attracted to entitled women, right? We're not, because see, a lot of women think powerful gives you the right to be entitled and to be negative, because we want a woman that can turn it off. One of the sexiest things in the world is watching a woman in her element and she's being powerful, right?
Right.
But can she come home and turn it off? Because I don't want to be your employee at home.
Right.
And see, I think that's the difference, is there's no turn off switch a lot of times. And for a man, men get with women for their nurturing, supportive nature, not for your masculine energy, right? We get with you for your feminine energy. So if you come home every single day trying to make me your employee, no, I'm not intimidated by you. I just don't want to be around you.
Wow.
Right? That's the difference. I want to come home and lay my head on your shoulder and you rub my head and say it's going to be okay, and you're soft about it. Not get up off me, man. I got to go and try this case at my law firm or whatever. Nah, it's different energies, right? So if you can turn it off, yes, we are absolutely attracted to it. A lot of my friends are attracted to really powerful women, but they know how to turn it up. My wife is one of the most powerful women I know, but she turns it off when she walks in the house. Turns it off, and it's the sexiest thing ever.
Nice. You?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, the thing about it is, I've been a sales manager a long time, and I always tell people my best reps are always women, because there is nothing more powerful than a woman who knows who she is. That's the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, there's nothing that can stop a woman who knows who she is and accepts who she is. Like, you walk out the door and it just happens for her, right? And if you're going to be successful, right, and you're going to be this ideal of what you have in your life, you have to have somebody who can match your power. Like, I don't want to be with a woman who doesn't know what I do for a living, and she don't know where the money come from. She just kind of sit around and that's what she do. Because what if something happens to me? Like, if you're going to bear my children, if you're going to be, the other part of my household, if something happens to me, I want to know that my children are going to be able to continue to live the lifestyle that they were living when I was around, right? And if I marry a woman who's weak, right, and she's weak to certain things, she's weak to money, she's weak to cars, she's weak to all these things that people can be weak to, right? I don't know what situation she's going to put my children in if I'm gone. If I went out and got in a car accident tomorrow and I was gone, I died and I was gone, who knows what situation she'll put my children in just to be able to have those things that she's weak for. So I don't want to be with a weak woman. I want to be with a woman who's strong and who knows how to carry herself and who knows how to be the other head of the household, because we need to be able to rule together. It's never really about, I'm the man and I'm always right. And it's never really about I'm the woman and it's always right. Like, we come together and we become one. So I'm not going to align myself, if I feel like I'm powerful and all this other stuff over here, I'm not going to align myself with somebody who's completely weak, because they're going to bring my power down. Like, it's going to meet in the middle. It's going to bring the powerful me down to being something that I don't want to be. So I need a woman who's as powerful as me. But what happens is people don't know how to mesh their power with the other person's power. Like, you don't know how to accept the things that makes this person great and who they are, because we don't want to. Because again, we just want to rent the car. Like, we ain't trying to buy this car. We just want to rent it. So I don't want to accept all the good stuff about her that makes her great. I just want her to be what I want her to be. And that's the issue that men have with powerful women, is that powerful women are not going to let you force them to be who you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a yes. Mm-hmm. Men do like, love, and are attracted to powerful women. They have to know how to turn that masculine energy off into feminine energy, especially when they get into the space with their man. Because what I heard you say is that a man is wanting and needing the nurturing side of her at home. But her powerful side is sexy. And then what I also heard from you is that not only some of that same sentiment, but that it helps reassure a powerful man when he has a powerful woman, that if something was to happen, she'd be able to step in and fill the shoes, and his household is still taken care of no matter what. Well, I just want to say that I've enjoyed both of you, and I thank you for being on my show. We've had some great dialogue. Once again, this is Shuvar and Troy Spry, and I just want to thank my audience, and I hope that you are really getting something out of this conversation, because I know it's something that I have and talk about with many of my friends. It's probably a really big topic when I meet with my friends, if it's out to dinner or lunch or even at work. We talk about love all the time. And I really do want my friends and the people that I love to find love and to be in love. And so I'm really happy that I was able to get with my guest today and really help you to see some things about yourself, some things you might need to change or just consider. And so please reach out to me at www.realtalkwithfelice.com. I'm also on Twitter at realtalkwithfelice.com. I'm also on Instagram. I have a Facebook account. All of it is Real Talk with Felice. And if you would like to be on my show, please reach out to me on my website or via Facebook, or you can message me on Instagram. And I'm also looking for our show ideas. So if you ever know of anything or a topic that you would like me to talk about or discuss and just have some really good dialogue, please do that as well. And once again, it was a pleasure. Happy Valentine's Day. I know it's probably too late. And thank you for being with me.
And we're done.